Okay, this is T3, the final review. Okay, we're going to be going through some questions to prepare you for the test. A triangle on the right is a scaled copy. So this is going to be the new one. This is going to be the old one. The triangle on the left, identify the scale factor. Express your answer as a fraction. Remember, when you do the scale factor, it is the new image and over the pre-image. And if you want to say pre-image or old image, that's great. So you want to find two corresponding sides. So I've got 54 that corresponds with 91. And then it says, put your answer in simplest form. Well, 54 over 91, that's as simple as it goes. It doesn't reduce anymore. Okay, next question. Triangle ABC is dilated by a scale factor of 1/2 to form the new triangle ABC. So, side CA. Now notice that this is C prime, A prime, so it's on the new triangle. So let's just kind of draw ABC here. See, I'm going to form a new triangle. Make sure you list them in the same order. A prime, B prime, C prime. So it says C prime, A prime. C prime, A prime is 10, so let's put a 10 there. What is the measure of CA? Okay, so what you're going to do is we want to know this one right here, right? We want to know X. So what we've got is we have, we need to do two corresponding sides, right? So we're trying to, it's dilated by 1/2, which means it shrunk. So we need to get the bigger one. So let's take 10 and divide it by 1/2, which is going to give you 20. So the answer here is 20. So CA, maybe you need to write it this way. CA is 20. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This one, we've got two similar figures. One is a scaled copy, so the figure on the right is a copy. So this is our new, this is our old. So it looks like we went from smaller to larger. So that means our scale factor's got to be bigger, right? Bigger than what we've got here. So it says which side in the figure on the right corresponds to ZX. So it'd be this one. So which side corresponds to it? Okay, which means it's going to match up. It would be AB. Okay, what is the, or BA, what is the scale factor? Okay, we're going to choose A, which is 2. Okay, here we've got two factors, we've got two congruent figures. Use the drop-down menu below to justify why. Which angle on figure 2 corresponds with angle S on figure 1? Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of take this one at a time. So we're going to say the two figures, are they congruent? No, two figures are not congruent, okay? Because of non-rigid. Non-rigid means, rigid means they stayed the same shape and the same size. Non-rigid means that they've changed sizes, okay? Angle, what angle corresponds with S? Well, the angle that corresponds with S is D. Okay, on this one, this is given that M and N are parallel, find X, Y, Z. Because remember, when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, it creates unique angles. So remember the magic, the golden rule I've been telling my students is 180. A straight line is 180. So you could figure out X if you took 180 minus 42, that's going to give you X. So when you subtract those, you get X equals 138. So that is how big this angle is. Now, because of corresponding angles, if X is 138, Y has to be 138 also. Okay? All right. Okay. Even though we've got three lines that are parallel, doesn't matter, they still create unique angles. Okay, these two angles right here are called corresponding angles. They are equal. So you can go 7x plus 2 equals 6x plus 7 because they're equal. And then just go ahead and solve for x by minusing 6x. So I get x plus 2 is 7. Minus 2, so x is 5. Okay? Okay, remember in a triangle you have 180 degrees. Okay? It wants you to solve for x. So I've got a 36 degree angle plus a 62 degree angle plus 5x minus 8 is 180. Okay? All right? And so what you can do is you can go ahead and do 36 plus 62 minus 8, and that is going to give you, let's see, 36, 62 is going to give you 98. Then you're going to minus 8, so we get 90. So these numbers all together give me 90, plus 5x is 180. Minus 90, because we're solving for x. 5x is 90. Divide by 5, divide by 5. And what do we get? X is what? 18. So that is what x is. There's a couple of other ways you can work this too, but as long as you come out with x is 18, you're golden. All right, okay, this is the rule. This is the, with the remote angles and the exterior rule, that these two angles add up to give you this angle right here. So give you the exterior angle. So x plus 104 equals 126. Minus 104, minus 104. So you get x equals 1, not 1, but you get 22. So that is what x is, okay? And there is another way you can work that problem too. Okay, we've got find S, the length of SR. So we want this length over here. But look at this. We've got an obtuse angle here, but we have two congruent base angles. So if you have two congruent base angles, what do you know about these two sides? Well, they're equal because it's an isosceles triangle, right? So, and this is an obtuse angle right here, but we do know that the two side, the missing side, which is this side right here, SR that we're trying to find, is 23, isosceles triangle rule. Okay, this one is, we're going to solve for x, use your 6th grade math skills and do the butterfly. Some of you know what is that. Cross multiply. We're going to have 2 times x equals 6 times 9. So we're going to get 2x is 54. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So x is going to equal, what did you guys get? Hopefully 27. All right, this one says triangle LMN is similar to triangle OPQ, which means they have the same angle measurements, not necessarily the same size on the sides. So it says find the measure of QO. So QO, we need this one right here. QO. And round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay, so we've got L, M, N, triangle LMN, and triangle OPQ. Okay, so we got to find 2 corresponding sides. Okay, so I'm going to go small triangle, and I'm going to go big triangle. Okay, so 22 is going to correspond with 5. So 5 over 22. And then we've got this, we don't know. I'm going to call it X. Now that has got X corresponds with 8. So I'm going to put 8 on the top and X on the bottom. Okay, go ahead and cross multiply. So 5 times X is 5X. 8 times 22 is going to give you 196. And then divide by 5, divide by 5, we're going to get X equals 39.2. And it says rounded to the nearest 10. So that would be your right answer. All right, okay. Make sure that when you see diagrams like this, you mark what you know. In the diagram below, ST is parallel to PQ. So ST is parallel to PQ. These guys, in fact, if you want to draw this the same way, we know that these are parallel, because that way when they're parallel, you know they're going to create unique angles, okay? ST is 21. PR, this one right here, is 36, okay? So make sure you get that marked right. RQ is this one right here, guys, is 24. And SR is 27, okay? All right, they want you to find PQ. So they want that one right there. Okay, now ask yourself this, where do I have 2 corresponding sides? Okay, I'm going to do, this is the small triangle, this is the little bit bigger. So I'm going to go small divided by the big. All right, okay, on my small I know 27, that's this one. What side does it correspond with? 36. I'm going to put these in boxes. Okay, I want to find this side over here. I'm going to call this X, and it's on the big triangle. What side corresponds with X? 21. Okay? All right. So we're going to have 27 times X, and then we're going to have 21 times 36, which is 756. Divide by 27, divide this by 27, and that, I've called X, but I probably should call it PQ. When I do it, X is what? 28, which is really this side right here. This side here, PQ is what? 28. All right, in the diagram below, FG and CD are parallel. I'm going to mark these. These are parallel, which means they create unique angles, right? Okay. The length of FG is the same as the length of CF. Now, they don't tell us what it is. FG, so we're going to call X, is the same thing as CF, okay? FE is 12. That's 12. CD is 9. Okay? Find the length of CF. This is the one that they want you to find. Okay. We have a small triangle and we have a big triangle. Okay. Let's do the small triangle. This side here is 12. So let's put a 12. The side that corresponds with it is this whole side for the big one. This is 12 plus X. Okay, on the small triangle, I have this one, X, and it corresponds with what? 9. Okay? Right, this one's going to be a little unique. 12 times 9 is 108. equals x times 12 plus x. Okay, don't panic quite yet, we got this. Okay, 108 is x times 12 is 12x, x times x is x squared. Okay, it's going to be a quadratic. You guys remember quadratics? Well, here we go. So I'm going to put this in order of a quadratic. X squared plus 12x. I'm going to minus 108. I'm going to minus 108. So I get 0 is x squared plus 12x minus 108. All right, now I have to solve for what x is. X has two possibilities of what it could be. Remember, 2 means there's two possible answers, could be. Okay, so let's pick out. I'm going to use the quadratic equation. A is 1, B is 12, and C is negative 108. Okay, we are going to plug them in this. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root. And if you want to try to factor it, you can. B squared minus 4AC all divided by what? 2A. I bet you never thought you'd have to use the quadratic equation again, but here we are. All right, here we go. X equals negative 12, subbing in negative 12, plus or minus. I'm subbing in 12 squared minus 4. I'm subbing in A. I'm subbing in C. All over 2 times 1. Okay? All right, x equals negative 12 plus or minus. Okay, when you type in the whole thing underneath here, underneath the square root, it's 576, all divided by 2. Okay, now, some of you are maybe a step ahead of me and you already know what the square root of